Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Elizabeth and today I'm going to talk about some series that I probably won't be finishing. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a tag or it's just a video that goes around, but I see it all the time on everyone's channels, and there are a lot of series that I've started that I just have no interest in finishing. I also have a few that I could possibly be persuaded to finish, but for the most part, I won't be finishing these series. The first series on my list is Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by Genevieve Toke. I can't really remember, I'll put it right here. But I read this book, the first book in the series, a few years ago, and it made me so angry. The main character was an idiot, and she, like, this was the thing that irritated me the most, was that her, I struggle to say love interest, but her love interest was basically controlling her, and she knew this, but then she's like, I love him anyway. Like, no. So I was just angry, and the synopsis does a terrible job of describing this book. So if you want to read this, either go in blind or expect for nothing that you think will happen to actually happen. Series number 2 is quite a controversial series, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but the Infernal Devices, pretty much Cassandra Clare in general. I read the Mortal Instruments, and like, I think I even stopped halfway through Heavenly Fire because it was so long and I just was not interested in it. And I read Clockwork Prince because I was trying to read them in publication order or something. So I read Clockwork Prince and I was so bored the whole time, and I just have no interest in finishing it. I'm sorry. I know this is a really unpopular opinion, but I just didn't like them. The third series on my list is the Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson, I want to say is the author's name. I read The Kiss of Deception again a few years ago, and it was okay. It wasn't anything exciting. Like, I wasn't just dying to read it. I mean, if I had had the second book right after I finished it, then I may have picked it up, but like, I didn't dislike it. It was fine. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars or something, but it's just not really my thing. I don't like, I was gonna say I don't like romance in my fantasy, but that's a lie. I love romance in my fantasy. I guess I just wanted more fantasy. There wasn't really that much fantasy in it, but yeah, I've just kind of lost interest in that series. The fourth series on my list is another controversial one, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Now, let me preface this by saying I do not read sci-fi, science fiction. I don't enjoy it. I think and I've read, I don't know if you can see, the Illuminae files. I enjoy the Illuminae files just because it's so much fun to see all the different formats and graphics and all of that. I enjoyed it for that aspect. I did not really care about the story itself. And that's just kind of how science fiction works for me. So I knew going into it that it was science fiction, but I've heard so many great things about it, and people that don't like science fiction loved Red Rising. So I tried it, and I didn't enjoy it, so I definitely won't be finishing that series. The fifth series on this list is Game of Thrones. I don't think I'm in the minority on this. Game of Thrones is a huge series, and I read half of the first book, and I only cared about like 2 of the point of view characters and like out of all of them, and I just kind of started skimming the rest of them, and then I got bored and I stopped I put it down, never picked it back up, and then I traded, like I sold it to a bookstore. Yeah, so also I have no interest in watching the TV show either. So the next series is The Program by Suzanne Young, I think. Yeah, I think that's the author's name, Suzanne Young. I actually really enjoyed The Program, and what was the second one? The Treatment. I really enjoyed the duology, and I thought that's all it was, but now there's like 2 or 3 more books. I don't really know. I just know there's more after The Treatment, and I just liked where The Treatment left off, so probably like I have no desire to continue with the series. And honestly, if I read it, like if I read The Program again now, I don't think I would like it as much. The next series on this list is The Vampire Academy. I read the first book when it first came out, absolutely loved it. Never picked up the second book. Fast forward to like a couple years ago, all the books are out. Actually, I think the last book was coming out, and like there was this huge deal on BookTube about it, and I was like, okay, I will start it over, because I didn't really remember anything that happened in the first book. So I started over, reading the first book, was so bored, have no desire to finish the series. I did enjoy the movie though. I don't know if that's if that is like a unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed the movie. It was fun. Now we're getting into the series that you may be able to persuade me to finish, maybe. The first one is the Lunar Chronicles. I read Cinder a few years ago. It was alright. It wasn't my favorite, but I've heard that it gets better and better with each book, so I'm kind of interested in reading it. But like I was just so meh about Cinder that I haven't had the urge to go out and get it. So you may be able to persuade me. I think I'll put a poll somewhere if I can figure out how to do that. I've never done a poll, but I'll put a poll somewhere and let you guys choose one of these series that I will keep reading. The second series that you may be able to get me to read are The Diviners by Libba Bray. I read The Diviners again a few years ago, and again it was alright, but this was before, like I was into reading, like I loved reading, but it was before I was really into reading, if that makes sense. And it was a long book, and it was before I'd even heard a single person talk about The Diviners. I had like the original beautiful cover, like when you took the dust jacket off, the actual cover of the book was beautiful. I had that edition, and I'm kind of sad that I got rid of it because it was such a beautiful edition. But everyone loves, what's the second one? Lair of Dreams, and then there's a third one. I don't even know, but it's a really popular series, so maybe I'll pick it back up. Who knows? The next series actually should have been in the last section because I definitely don't want to finish the series, but this is Legend by Marie Lu. I read the first book, and I can honestly say I don't get the hype around it. I was bored, and I'm not hating on the book. It wasn't like terrible. It wasn't a bad book. Again, I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was average. It just didn't get me excited to read the second book. But like, it's such a popular series. Everyone seems to love it, so I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. The next series, again, one you could probably get me to keep reading, is Shatter Me by Tatamati. I enjoyed Shatter Me. I liked the dystopian and the romance in it, and from what I've been told, the romance changes a lot, and one of the bad guys becomes like the main focus of the romance. I don't know. When people start talking about books I haven't read, I kind of zone out. So you might be able to get me to pick that one back up. Next series is Caravela by Stephanie Garber. I enjoyed Caravela. It was fun. I didn't expect it to have a sequel. I don't know if the sequel is actually a continuation with the same characters or not. If not, if it's like a different set of characters, just like in the same world or something, then I am kind of interested in picking that one back, like trying to read that one, because I did enjoy Caravela, but I don't want a sequel to it. The next is the Red Queen series by, I don't remember, I'm sorry. Red Queen series The first book was just alright. Nothing exciting, nothing special. I listened to the review, or like, I think it was Murphy. I'll post it down below if I can find it. But her thoughts were mine almost exactly, so I will link that below. And the last series is one that you could probably get me to read pretty easily, and that's An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I started listening to this on audiobook. I was really invested in it, and then I don't remember, I think maybe the book was like checked out and I ran out of time. I don't remember, but I didn't get to finish it, and so then I think I put it back on hold, and then I got it back a few months later. But at that time I was reading something else, and so it took me a long time to finish the book. And I feel like if I had read it all at once, then I would have really enjoyed it, and probably would have tried to get the second book almost immediately. So, but since it was spread out, I didn't have the greatest experience, or as great of an experience as I feel like I could have if I had listened to it all at once. So that one probably could get me to finish reading it. I would have to reread it though. But those are some popular series that I probably won't be finishing. Like I said, I will put a poll up and let you guys choose one of these series for me to go dive back into. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I post videos Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, so if you want to be notified whenever I post, be sure to subscribe or hit that little bell icon. I am on social media. I will leave all my links down below for you guys, and as always, I'll talk to you next time. Bye!